Hey, morning, welcome back guys. Well, today's vlog is I put down back to South Auckland, pretty much going off the Back to the Future poster, and today's vlog is pretty much based on the historical places that I could remember, and that I could see around South Auckland. And today's vlog will be based around OTARA, OTAHUHU, Mount Wellington, Mangere and Manurewa. So these are pretty much the main townships of South Auckland. There's more, but these are the most populated Polynesian ones. So pretty much this vlog is based off historical places that I remember as a kid. And I know for some of you, you'll probably remember some of these places and reminisce on what you guys just been up to. So this is what today's vlog is pretty much about. So hi guys, my name is Biz. I'm from Auckland, New Zealand, and I pretty much do vlogs on South Auckland, OTARA, and historical places. Stories that I can reminisce on and that relates to other people. So for other people who have not been to Auckland, New Zealand, South Auckland, by all means come check it out. South Auckland, one of the best places around. So today I'm going to start off with my hometown OTARA, and I've filmed here before, but I figured, hey, why not get in some more stories, right? So wonder if you guys, anyone that's got any stories or comments on what they used to get back to up in the early 80s, by all means drop it down in the comments below and we'll go from there, right? So the first one I'll probably want to shoot, this area right here. This used to be the old New World supermarket back in the day, but this area right here, we used to have a fountain. Now, no doubt, I did put up old images, and I actually turned one into a AI video, just to give some thoughts on what it looked like back then, right? Not for the Gen Zs, but for the millennials and the rest of them who follow. So this pretty much area right here was the, there was a fountain right here. A lot of kids used to come here, man. And I gotta admit, there used to be coins. People used to throw coins in there, man. I don't know why, because a lot of the kids used to dive in there and try to look for them. But this infamous area right here, this is OTARA Township, in the heart of South Auckland. Now obviously we got the fish canopy that's up there. It would have been more primo if they had covered the whole township, right, instead of the centre, but I guess it's all about budget back then. And right ahead where the yellow bin, just to your right, there used to be a McDonald's. Believe it or not, you only see one roof, but it was actually 2 stories. So we used to walk into McDonald's and there was upstairs and downstairs, which is pretty sicky, right? It's pretty sicky. The word seki, S-E-K-I, means dope, means awesome in Samoan. So yes, this place right here, bang in the middle, there was a fountain, and a lot of kids used to come muck around, have a swim in there like they were at the OTARA pools. But it was dope for back in this day, right? So any of you folks that can remember that, and whoever mucked around in that fountain, yo, drop some comments. I'm going to put up some AI video on my left or on my right of what it used to look like, and there's going to be a few AI videos which were original images of these places. All I've done is just put a twist on it and turn it into video. So yes sir, so we used to have the maddest McDonald's on the right. There was 2 stories. Yo, memory lane, a lot of stores here. OTARA store looks the same, yo. Everyone can remember Shalamar, Yeah, that place. One of the places that where all the Polynesians used to hang, right? But yes, sir. Bang right here, man. There was a fountain right here, y'all. There was iconic places for OTARA, right? Yeah, buddy. Best time to come here, man, is when it's early in the morning, so there's hardly anyone around. This here is meant to represent the fish head to that canopy right there. It's alright. It would have been more perfect if they had covered the whole township, right? Now with OTARA Town Centre, yo, still looks the same, man. We need a upgrade, man. Upgrade on the colours. Upgrade on the stores, man. This used to be the old ANZ Bank back in the day. Now the tower clock, it's been there forever, right? It's been there forever. So no doubt, with some of these stories that I'm going to be sharing today, if it reminisces with you guys, especially from the people from the 80s, back in South Auckland, back in OTARA, Rewa, OTAHUHU, Mount Wellington, Mangere, 275, that's the area code for Mangere. Yo, like I said, drop some comments. Now this place is pretty dope too, man. This area is pretty much for the community, right? OKV. Yes, sir. Now this area, where the containers are, there used to be a hill, believe it or not, back in the day. Not so high. Pretty much the same height as those bushes right there. But there was two hills, and there was the OG OTARA bus stop. And if you guys can remember, the old OTARA bus stop from the day, yo, it was the old brick bus stop, and it stunk, man. Smelled like piss every day. Now it used to be where the bus is turning in, so we had our old bus stop on this side, and there was the bus stop across the road. So people used to run across the road, man, just to catch the bus to Middlemore or to town. You had to run across the road. Mind you, there was no pedestrians or whatever. If you're gonna make way for it, it was like bull rush, man. If you got room to run, yo, you run it, man. It's like they run it straight but for passengers. Excuse me. So we also line up on that side, and it used to be full of students from De La Salle, Macaulay, any schools that were going out towards town. They used to catch the bus on the other end of East Tamaki Road, and this side was there was actually more room on this at the old bus stop. Now if there's any folks with images of the old bus stop, by all means drop it, man. There is a 5-second video that I posted up on Southside Work, OTARA 274, and like I said, it's only a 5-second video of the folks back then in the 80s, early 80s. They caught the bus from this side. This whole side was the old OG original OTARA bus stop. Now OTARA has changed a little bit. Majority of it's still the same. That we need to upgrade, man. We need to make it look like Botany, man. But OTARA is rich and Pacific people, Polynesian people, and that's what it's all about, right? So yes, this side here with the containers, this used to be the old bus stop. It was all bricked up. It had two hills that kids used to run up and down. Mind you, this section was, on this side used to be Housing New Zealand and whatnot. So yes, this side, the OG, the old school OTARA bus stop. Like I said, man, we used to run across the road to catch the other buses to Middlemore Hospital, to town. That was hectic, because you used to dive the traffic, dive in between traffic, and it was like Russian roulette, man. It was like Russian roulette. So this whole section where the bushes are, this was the OG bus stop. Across the road was the other half of the bus stop where everyone used to go to town. Not much images, I gotta admit, of the OG bus stop. And then when people do see it, yo, the reminisce stories come out, man. Hard out. Now, I saw one of the vlogs from one of the Oswald's Rex, goes by Rex. We did a vlog on the market, and it's good. I like it when I see other Otarians vlog on their hometown, and that's what it's all about, right? Yes sir, the iconic welcome to OTARA sign. Yo, they need some lights up in there, man. Especially at night, so everyone can see it. Welcome to OTARA. So these are just two of the iconic spots for OTARA. I've done a previous vlog on OTARA. Actually, I've done multiple vlogs on OTARA. It was one of my first vlogs, man. So if you want to check it out, I'll put it up at the end of this video. It'll be on your left. You'll see a little thumbnail pop up, and you can check it from there. So yes sir, look, OTARA is still the same. The only difference now, man, you see more vape stores than anything, man. They've shut down a lot of alcohol stores, beer stores around South Auckland, unless you're one of those big companies like Bottle O and whatnot. These guys are still in play, but most of the bottle shops in South Auckland, they have managed to, the local community and City Council have managed to take them down. Now they're replaced with vaping stores, so you got a vape joint right in front of you. I think it was, I'm just pretty sure it was the Golden Triangle. They used to be, it was a Chinese shop back then, and it was an old Chinese couple. They used to run it for decades, man. I'm not sure if one they passed or they moved to China. And but there was an iconic spot too. Golden Triangle used to be this side of OTARA Township. So yeah, so props out to Rex for putting up that vlog of OTARA Township, right? That was dope. That was sicky. We need more Polynesians vlogging on their hometown. 100, man, 100. So if any of you folks got any stories on OTARA Town Centre back in the day, in the 80s, like I said, man, drop those comments down below. I would love to hear you guys' stories. My first vlog was based on the Flying Jug, the East Tamaki Tavern back in the day, back in the 80s. I used to rock up there. I rock up there because my old man used to go in there. And those were the days where people from Fisher and Paykel, we even had gang members back then. Stormtroopers, we had the Mangere mob. It was like they all used to hang around there, man. There was their headquarters for their drinking spots, right? So yeah, buddy, on to the next, eh? On to the next. Yes sir. Yo, so another iconic spot for OTARA is the Go East Tamaki petrol station. Now, this petrol station used to be the old, the original tavern for East Tamaki. Back then it was called the Flying Jug. Now there was multiple names I think it was called. A lot of people would say that it wasn't actually the Flying Jug, but for guys from the south side, it was the Flying Jug, yo. So I'll put up a image or an AI video of what it looked like back then. So this section, this whole petrol station here, this was a massive tavern, man. But the building was classed up right against the wall right there. Now the building that's right in front of me, that's the I can't really say the new tavern, but that's what they built after the original one had come down. And a lot of folks from East Fisher and Paiko, the locals from East Tamaki, we had gang members, but a lot of folks that will come after work and they will celebrate. And this used to be ET Tavern back then. And yo, there's I've seen a lot of stories and heard a lot of stories on the Flying Jug, especially when they said if you're gonna tip your jug upside down, it's pretty much a sign of, yo, let's get it on, let's start a fight. I think it was more routine than anything else, right? And when I did the Flying Jug, it was one of the original vlogs that I did back in my early vlogs. That was one of my first ones, and I got a lot of comments on it, man. So anyone that drank back at the Flying Jug back in the early 80s, yo, I'd like to hear your stories, man. Drop those comments, man. Drop that like, subscribe, and tell me your guys' stories on South Auckland, right? Because I know these are just stories of me reminiscing back in the 80s. And I'm going to try to hit not just OTARA, but the rest of South Auckland. Not all of it. They'll come on other vlogs soon to come. Coming soon. But first ones first, I'll just give out some iconic spots. And if you guys have been there or remember it, yo, by all means, man, drop that comment. I would love to hear it, man. Yo, and Wholesale Meats, they used to be an old video store. Can't remember what it was called. But further up in East Tamaki, they had a video store called Video Power. They had a spot, the Ice Cream Palace, Ice Cream Parlor. And it was similar to the ice cream parlor that's in Pocono, the infamous ice cream shop in Pocono. We had one here in East Tamaki, man. And it's just up the road from here. Used to be, but it was a primo spot back then, right? These are the days of the arcade machines, right? Damn. When everyone used to wire the machines, instead of putting in coins, they used to wire it, man. Hot wire the machines and get free credits out of it. So this used to be an old video shop back then. Still the same, man. The other side was a church, a ministry church. I'm not sure what's happened to that. But this is, yeah. So this spot here, like I said, the old Flying Jug, the old East Tamaki Tavern back in the 80s is now replaced with the modern version. I won't say the modern version is that great, right? It's got the bingo machines and whatnot, but it doesn't beat the old Flying Jug from the day, man. A lot of folks can remember the Flying Jug because, like I said, there used to be plenty of fights back then, man. And a lot of folks' families used to come here after work, drink with some of the stormtroopers, the Mangere mob back in the day, and they used to hit the ET Tavern, yo. A lot of folks from Fisher Paiko can remember those days, man. The 80s, and that's what it was all about, right? So that was the East Tamaki Tavern. Like I said, I'll put it up on my right. You'll see a little mini AI video of what the ET Tavern used to look like back then, right? Yo, the days of AI, man. It's here. It's here. You're going to see the good and the bad. Super AI, AGI. We know there's going to be some good and bad stuff, but hey, I hope there's some good that comes out of AI, especially for medical reasons, right? But anyways, back to the topic. This is what it's all about. Wow. The old ET Tavern that used to be located right here at this gold petrol station. You still see the sign. I mean, there's ET Tavern right there, but it's nothing what it looked like back then. The vibe of the old one, man, sure has changed. So anyone that's been to the Flying Jug, if you DJ'd here, if you came to here to pick up your mum or dad, if you came here after work from Fisher Park, I keep bringing up Fisher Park, right? It's only because I used to work there. Any stories of those folks that used to drink here? Drop your comments down below, man. I would love to hear your stories on the Flying Jug, man, and how you guys used to get all rowdy up in there, man. That's right. The ET Tavern, guys. Yep. Yo, so I'm back in Waimanali, my hometown. So who can remember this spot, yo? This is a waste-away area, but this used to be a petrol station back in the day. So I'm at the bottom of the Waimanli Bridge, just in front of me. And this area used to be a mobile petrol station. The folks that would remember from the day, from the 80s, when you drive past here and you'll see the mobile station, and that's when there were Europeans around, man. Hardly anyone, and hardly Indians in those shops back then, right? But yeah, this old spot here used to be the old mobile petrol station in Waimanli. And next door there used to be a kind of like won't say mental asylum. Actually, I just said it. God damn it! But it used to be located in this spot. It was right next door to the mobile petrol station. No, it was a spot where they used to look after the guys with mental illness, mental sickness, mental health, and it used to be located in this spot next to DB Breweries. And everyone can remember the old when they used to have 6 cans, giant cans. There was a massive sticker of a DB beer cans, and they used to be planted up on those 6 pillars right there. But this spot right here, where it is DB right now, it used to be I forgot the name, but there was the folks will remember from the day when there used to be a building here, and they used to look after the guys that were mentally unstable, or guys that needed mental health, right? And it was pretty much right at the back over here. So these were also iconic spots for OTARA, Waimanli. I've also done vlogs for Food Town, OTARA Food Town, the first food town in New Zealand, and that was OTARA / OTAHUHU. And there was also the OTARA Cinema, aka Starlight, back then, right? So man, OTARA was bigger back then. But yeah, so this was the mobile petrol station in Waimanli, and mental health building where they looked after the sick. So anyone can remember those ones, drop a comment, I would love to hear it. I would love to hear it, man. Yeah, buddy. Now I'm next door to another township called OTAHUHU, and there's a lot of iconic spots in OTAHUHU, man. So for some of the folks that were from the 70s, 80s, but I recall from the 80s, right? And this was the original spot that you had to come from OTARA. You used to drive from this end here, and it will wind up. There used to be one road, man. They used to follow up in front of OTAHUHU College. And a lot of folks can remember that. It's like the original Beards Road, how it's been cut off, and it used to be under the pillars. Well, not really technically under the pillars, but beside it, the original Beards Road to OTARA Township. Well, it's similar to this spot right here, where a lot of folks back in the day, in order to go to Manurewa Hospital, so that spot where the car's turning right, that's the new road. Well, I can't really say new, but that's not the original way to the Manurewa Hospital, right? Folks used to drive up towards these ways, and you had to make a left before the war memorial. So we've got a war memorial in front of me, and we used to turn left, to make our way to Manurewa Hospital. So some of these original roads are still around. It's just now they've found new ways of getting there, right? But the old folks, wow, calling myself old, but they would remember that original road that leads to Middlemore Hospital. One of them, especially if you're coming through OTAHUHU, right? And the old war memorial with the soldier hill, especially when it's league and you see, I've seen guys climb on the horse. There's a statue of the soldier who's on a horse, and I used to see folks climb on top of it and put their Tongan flag on there. And I was like, yo, what the heck? Crack up, guys. Yep. That was the old way, right? The old way. The original way. Where you had to make your turn off just as you enter OTAHUHU and head towards a hospital. Yeah, so this statue right here, man. When we had league games, especially Samoa versus Tonga, and I remember seeing folks used to climb the statue, sit on top of the horse, fly their Tongan flag. And I was like, yo, I've never seen that being done, but that was funny ass, man. Heck yeah. Yeah, so the original road, yo, to the hospital. Besides going through, what is it, Papatoe, this was the other way you could get to the old Auckland International Airport, past OTAHUHU College. You would have to come through this section right here and drive right up in front of this white house that looks like a haunted house. The heck. But yeah. Wow. Looks like the Ku Klux Klan used to live in that house. Oh yeah, speaking of the monument here, man, with the pointy, the Nixon, a bit sticking up top here, that kind of looks like a Ku Klux Klan hat. Anyway, off that topic, that's OTAHUHU, man. One of the spots. For the folks that could remember the original turn-offs, right here, they used to lead to OTAHUHU College. Actually think it was better though. Still the same. The names have changed, but the buildings are still around. Even that Monument Hotel, where rumours I heard it was haunted. Yo, where's the Ghostbusters, man? Anyways, on to the next, right? Yep. Yo, and another iconic spot to OTAHUHU that folks could remember from the day is when this section right here, it used to be one way. So these two lanes down the middle lanes of OTAHUHU, this used to be one way back in the day, and this was the way to get to town, coming through this way, and you used to come up towards Atkinson on this way, so it was going down one way to town, come up the other. Now that changed back in the 80s, 84, when they had done the new road, which was actually right here, believe it or not. So they had moved this, changed this section, and they had looped. Yo, I'll put up an image of it anyways, but it used to loop around here and make its way onto Atkinson, right? So yeah, back in the early days of OTAHUHU, especially when you're heading towards Sturgis Park, the main section to OTAHUHU was only one way, man. So you can imagine back in there, I think it was actually better back then. The Star Hotel, still the same. Nothing has changed. It still looks the same. A lot of history in OTAHUHU, right? Yeah, buddy. And I know the folks can remember when everyone used to drive down these two lanes that followed straight down the middle, right? And this section right here where I'm at, it came from this end and I'll loop right up to here, and this is where you could merge down to Atkinson. So back in the day, everyone used to drive down just these two lanes one way, come up the other end. Now I know for the folks from the 80s, early 80s, the 70s, and they grew up, they obviously knew about that, but it did change back in 84 when they did loop this section right here and ended up going down Atkinson the same way. Yeah, that's pretty out of it. So any folks that can remember that, or remember driving down this road one way, coming up the other, yo, drop a comment. I would love to hear it, man. The folks from OTAHUHU, yeah buddy. Down there is the old Sturgis Park, and about 20 meters to your left there's a building called Strive. That used to be the old Inland Revenue back then. And believe it or not, they shot a movie down here, I think last year or 2 years back. Jason Momoa and Dave Bautista, they did an action movie, and it was actually filmed here in OTAHUHU, and it's filmed right down this very spot. So they had cornered the whole damn thing off, man, and they used this whole section right up to Sturgis and right along, and did their movie. I did do a vlog on it too, so no doubt I'll put up some images and videos of some of the iconic spots to OTAHUHU. For the folks that live in OTAHUHU, yo, drop a comment. I would love to hear it, man. That's right. Wow. Wow. Pretty sure OTAHUHU's older than OTARA, right? Anyways, yeah. The one-way road going down to OTAHUHU. Damn. We got a salmon shop about 50 meters right in front of me. Bingaki's, which is one of the infamous shops for OTAHUHU. Used to get your island food. Yeah, buddy. I no doubt I'm going to show some other iconic spots. No doubt, well, I'm not actually from OTAHUHU, but I went to school in OTAHUHU, St. Joseph's Primary. And yo, the section where KFC is, that's the new bus stop. There was an original bus stop, and believe it or not, some of the buildings used to come out even further towards the bus stop, right? And the students from Macaulay, St. Joseph's, they can recall that too. Right next to KFC, the buildings just come up just a bit further, and they had just one bus stop back then. The building in front, I believe it turned into a police headquarters, and then Inland Revenue, I heard. But yeah, wow. Okay, let's move on down. Let's move on down. OTAHUHU. Yeah, buddy. Yo, so I've made my way down, halfway down Great South Road, and some of the spots I remember back in the day is used to be Criterion Hotel back in its day, and I can recall some pubs. Yeah, as a kid, I used to rock up with my parents. I think that's when kids used to enter a lot of pubs back then, right? With their parents. And I'm talking about the East Tamaki Tavern, the OTAHUHU pubs, and one of them was the Crossbar or the South Bar. So this section used to be the Criterion Hotel, and where the B&J Bank is, this used to be the Crossbar. Now any folks that could remember the Crossbar or the South Pub, it used to be located in this section right here, man. There was a pub right there. I think it was two actually. It was kind of split in two. There was definitely a pub that I could recall that a lot of Polynesians, Pacific people had rocked up back in the day. And I used to turn up here with the old man in the early 80s in my school uniform, and the old fella used to drink at these iconic spots in OTAHUHU. So no doubt this was the old Criterion Hotel, one of them. I'll drop the images on my right, well, my left, of what it looked like back then. So wherever I'm going, I'm going to put up some images of what it looked like back then, and give out some historical facts, historical images that I can recall. And hopefully for the folks that remember it too, right? The folks from their day. Wow, from OTAHUHU. Like I said, I'm not from OTAHUHU. I'm Otarian, raised in OTARA. I definitely love to do history on South Auckland, right? Some folks have said, hey Buzz, why not try to do other areas besides OTARA? I was like, hey man, why not? So yeah, this whole section here, man. Criterion Hotel, Crossbar, South Bar, where the Pollies used to come here after work. Get their drink on. Yeah, buddy. Now this is the new section. Obviously it was just one skinny road back then. Love the digging the Christmas tree, man. Digging the Christmas tree. Seki. Some guy did a mural of the Samoan movie Ginga, Tina. You can say Tina as a balangi, but we say Ginga, which means mother, which means mummy, moms in Samoan, right? That's right. Wow. And some of these murals here, the blue, the green, yellow and blue, I believe an old friend of mine, Monty Collins, did these island paintings, which is Seki, right? Anyone can remember the OTAHUHU reception lounge? Yes, I was up there for 21st back then. The OTAHUHU reception lounge. OTARA had their version, but this was still infamous. I'm not sure if this has been used, right? Folks, if you can remember the OTAHUHU reception lounge, if you had your 21st up there, or wedding, tell it like it is, man. Drop a comment, right? The Milestone Bar, that building's still there. Wow. Hasn't moved, man. Hasn't moved. Yeah, it's a wonderful gentleman did the Ginga, Tina mural right there. Yo, check out that movie, man. It's dope. It's dope. It deserves a reward. Yeah, buddy. Oh, I love the tree. If I had a truck, I'll take this home. Digging the mural of what is it? What is it? Sorry, folks, I'm trying to figure out what's the name on there. What's the word? But anyways, love it. Dig it, dig it. The village square, further down, still there. Hasn't changed much, but it's still there. Wow. Wow. And I'll end up going down there, which is the old bus depot, the OTAHUHU depot, back in the day. So here's the Criterion Square. Yo, OTAHUHU, man. OTAHUHU. They do a lot of events along here too, where they do food stalls, and they'll actually block off this whole road, man. They do it once a year, and it's pretty sicky. I love it. I love it. Something different, right? Wow. So I know there goes people from OTAHUHU still reminisce of Sturgis Park. We even had the All Blacks, yes, the mighty All Blacks, come train down at OTAHUHU Sturgis Park, which is only around the corner from here. The All Blacks is the New Zealand's famous team. Wow. Okay, just gonna look up the car and then go walk around the corner, right? Morning, morning. Wow, okay, so like I said, the Tupac Crossbar and South Pub, they used to be at this Criterion Hotel, man. Yo, and sometimes it's best. I love it when there's hardly any people around, because you get some walk in the middle of the road, like you own the road. South Auckland, stand up, man. For any folks that are coming to New Zealand first time, come to South Auckland, man. OTARA, OTAHUHU, Mangere, Manurewa, Papakura. Woo. Beautiful spot, man. Very kind people, Polynesian people, Māori people. Beautiful, man. Like I said, OTAHUHU hasn't changed that much, man. Maybe the colours, but structure wise, still the same. Yeah, buddy. So this is the old OTAHUHU depot. Back in the day, a lot of flights used to come hang around here. Happen around here between multiple of schools: OTAHUHU College, De La Salle. Yeah, we even had students from St. Paul's. Oh, what's up with that, man? But those were the days, right? It wasn't even about Bloods and Crips too. So this area here, wow, used to be excuse me, used to be the old OTAHUHU depot back in the day. Now they might have put up these flash bus stops, but man, goddamn, wasn't as good as the original OTAHUHU depot, right? Heck yeah. So this is the OG, and like I said, I'll put an image on my left or right, but you're going to see an image of the original OTAHUHU bus stop, which was right here, man. A lot of buses will come through this area, especially if you're going to town, if you're going to Manukau City. Folks will remember back in the day, this place was pumping, man. Straight up. But this is what the OTAHUHU depot looks now. They got a Polynesian event centre there. Buffet styles, man, buffet styles. Well, folks that could remember from the 80s, who could remember the spot, right? We had a lot of folks come down here, and there'd be a lot of school flights down here. Heck yeah. A lot of wannabe Mike Tysons back then, repping their school, and used to have plenty of flights down here, or in that Sturgis Park back in the day. Wow. Now I also put up an image of there used to be a this whole car park used to be a hotel. I think it was the bigger version of Criterion Hotel back in the day, back in the 80s and 70s. I can recall it as a child. In the 80s, early 80s, that section over here used to be a hotel, man. Criterion Hotel. And in the middle of here we had an information centre. Folks will remember that black spot right there, yes sir. We had an information centre, and everyone used to get the old bus tickets. We used to click the motherfucker. Oh, I was going to swear. Click the tickets. Wow. So no doubt, man, OTAHUHU has its historical buildings, just like any other township. OTARA, Papatoe, they all have it, man. And like I said, the likes of OTARA, I believe OTARA was bigger back in its day, and they've kind of cut this down. Yeah, so this section right here where the buffet is, King Buffet, this car park in front of us used to be Criterion Hotel. This section here used to be an old video store, United Video. If you guys can remember the video stores back in the day, United Video and Video Easy. Wow. That's what it was, man. That's what it was back in the day. OTAHUHU, right? Like I said, some of these shots I'm just going off what I remember as a kid back in the day, but I know it's gonna reminisce with some people out there who can remember these spots. OTARA, OTAHUHU, The next one I'm going to shoot coming up pretty soon. But I'm just going to try finish off some more iconic spots that hopefully you folks from South Auckland back in the day can remember, right? Again, the colours, bit of a rainbow zen colours. OTAHUHU is more of a Tongan community, especially when it comes to rugby league, right? Love it, love it. When they're flying their flags, seki, love it. That's what it's all about. They never did it back then, man. But it's good to see now. It's a shame this is now just used as a car park. Well, everyone can remember the yellow buses, the information centre right here, the old bus stop, click the bus tickets, and go from there. The old milestone bar, bam, still standing. They may have changed the colours, but it's still the same. Yeah, buddy. That's just like OTARA town centre, man. They may have changed the colours, but the buildings are still the same. We need to upgrade. We need to upgrade on OTARA town centre, right? Wow. Okay. Look at that, man. MTS. Which is good. Make it look like a ghost town. Wow. Walking the streets like I own it. Sure, some of the folks will go, check this guy out. He must be high. He must be drunk. Must be high, drunk on cover. Anyways, try getting some more of OTAHUHU. Wow, wow, love it. Excuse me. Man, can you believe that this was a one-way, both lanes back then? Woo! Yes, sir. One way. Now, I know for some of your millennials, you're probably thinking, what? What's in the blue hell? One way? Well, the old folks like me, they will remember it. Heck yeah. Woo! I need a drink of Jack Daniels. I need an energy boost. Maybe try this BFT. See if they have any bottles. Yeah, it's a gym, but hey, used to be a bank back in the day. Yeah, a lot of these stores, same name, different people. Excuse me. Wow. Okay. Now I've done my around the world in one day. Let's go to the other side of OTAHUHU. Okay, here's another iconic spot in OTAHUHU, and this one used to be the Working Man's Club, which I'll put a picture on your left or right, whatever you see up there. So this area, which is now Taco Bell's, this whole area, this whole car park was the Working Man's Club. Now every time I used to rock up here, rock past, actually go past it all the time, I used to think, yo, what the hell is this place? At first I was thinking, man, there must be a brothel, right? There must be a brothel for all those island men that are walking in. And then I quickly realized, oh no, crap, it's just another drinking spot for the alkies. But yeah, this whole spot here was the Working Man's Club. A lot of folks came after work, whoever worked close by Mount Wellington or close to in OTAHUHU or whatever, they used to come to this spot, this very spot, and this is where they did they didn't do it, but this is where they came for drinks, right? A Working Man's Club. Now it's Taco Bell. Yeah, I know. Out of all places, right? It's Taco Bell's. And yo, I think that's pretty much some of the iconic spots for OTAHUHU. I know there's more, but those are the ones that I can recall from the early 80s, right? And for all the guys who's even your dads, if they rocked up to this working man's club back in the early 80s, late 80s, 90s, when it was here, yo, share, like, comment below, man. I'd like to hear you guys' stories on this this building, this iconic building of OTAHUHU. No doubt, no doubt. That'd be sicky, right? Yo, they got a Sam Bowers here, man. Yeah. Where have I heard that before? But like I said before, they've got all these units and homes that are going up, you know what I mean? And that's gonna be, yo, that's gonna be South Auckland all the way, man. That's what it's gonna be like. So no doubt. And you can see, well, this is, I'm gonna admit, this was a big building when I was here, so no doubt, man, this is pretty dope. So hey, man, comment, man. I'd like to hear you guys' stories on the Rookie Man's Club. Hey, who went in there, man? Who went in there? That's right, who went in there? Okay, on to the next. Okay, I think this will probably be the last one for OTAHUHU, and I'll probably shoot. This is probably one of the cinemas that I can recall from the day, and it will be this very building right here. This used to be called the Orpheus Cinema back in the day. I'll put up an image on my left or right. You'll see an old photo of it, but they had a lot of cinemas around South Auckland, believe it or not, until Village 8 popped up and wiped them all out. Village 8 was a complex where they had multiple of theatre screens in one place, right? Once that stepped in, all the local spots, local towns that had cinemas like OTARA Cinema Rewa, which I'll hit later on, and this one at the back of me, the OTAHUHU Orpheus Cinema. Even Mangere East had a cinema back then. A lot of folks do not know that, but it was an old cinema. I'll get that in later. But yeah, so I'm on Station Road, OTAHUHU, and this building right here, Hot Bread Kitchen, yeah buddy, used to be the old cinema back in the day, and I believe there was one in Old Papatoetoe too, but OTARA did have one, OTARA Luxury Theatre, and renamed it Papatoetoe Starlight in the 70s. A lot of folks didn't know that. Yeah, heck yeah. Wow. To believe a lot of these townships had their own cinemas, right? Old Papatoetoe, Rewa, even OTAHUHU had their own cinemas back in the day. Further down the road is the new bus stop, the OTAHUHU Depot, which is further down Station Road. Wow. Whew, lucky I came early, man. So I can walk on the road like I own it. Damn. So there you go, folks. That's probably one of the last spots I'll do for OTAHUHU. You guys can recall that, the guys from back in the day, they can remember the Orpheus Cinema. Drop a comment, I'd love to hear it, man. Any other historical spots in OTAHUHU besides Sturgis Park. Sturgis Park is right in front of me, a good 200 meters. With the new recreation centre with a swimming pool, which is new. But anyone can recall the good old days from OTAHUHU. Like, share, comment below on your reminiscence days, the glory days of OTAHUHU, right? Or even if it's OTARA. I did start this vlog in OTARA and continued from my previous vlog that I did, my last vlog. At the end of the vlog, you'll see some video. I added up the thumbnail of OTARA going back in the day. Like I said, my thumbnail is all about back to South Auckland, which pretty much is reminiscent stories of what I went through back in the day. And hopefully you folks can, that were from South Auckland, you can reminisce of these and also give me facts too, what you guys went through back in the day, right? And you guys probably recall more historical sites. That's what it's all about. Yeah, buddy. No drone shots today. Even though I got my Mini 5 Pro, but like, I'll save that for another video. But definitely gonna hit other South Auckland spots. That's what it's all about, right? I'm gonna make my way out of OTARA and shoot the others. Won't be that much, but if there's any other places you folks want me to shoot, especially in South Auckland or Auckland, drop a comment below, man. I would love to hear it. Give me some of your stories, your reminiscent stories, your historical facts. I'll go shoot it, man. I love hearing old stories of the day, right? In South Auckland. Yes, sir. Wow. OTAHUHU, OTAHUHU. Yo, now I've made my way to Mount Wellington. One of the spots hopefully you guys can remember is this section right here. Mount Richmond. The blue sign, that used to be the doctors, obviously. Everyone can remember Dr. Williams, a Raro Cook Island doctor, who was the former Prime Minister for Rarotonga. He used to work over here, man. One of the most infamous doctors back then in South Auckland. Wonderful gentleman, but he passed away from COVID, unfortunately, back then, during that era. But he was located here, in Mount Richmond. And next to the doctors, there used to be a video store called Gamesman. If you guys can recall Gamesman, they had all those videotapes, posters, whatnot, but mainly games for PlayStation, Nintendo back then. It was located on this side of Mount Richmond. Mount Richmond also have the OTAHUHU League Club, the Leopards. And yo, I couldn't shoot it over here because I put up a fence, look like the Great Wall of China right over here, man. Damn. But yeah, Dr. Williams used to work in that doctors right there where the blue sign is. Next, in between it was a video store called Gamesman. Straight ahead is going towards Sylvia Park, and I'll hit there later on. Sylvia Park. But for now, man, if you guys can remember Gamesman and the old doctors. Dr. Williams. Wow. Yeah, what's up with these gates and fences, man? Damn. Off the rock down there and having to turn on the machine. Mount Richmond, yo. Mount Richmond. Yeah, so just down below is the OTAHUHU Rugby League Club, and an in-law of mine, Mr. George Carmont. A lot of guys from OTARA used to play for OTAHUHU, man. OTAHUHU and OTARA Scorpions, but they were always great rivals, man. Scorpions, Leopards, and the Mangere Hawks. Don't forget Papakura, man. Yo, who was Rewa? I'm not sure about Rewa Way. Wow. Definitely new homes that have popped up, man. South Auckland is now starting to, you're starting to see homes 2-3 stories, apartments popping up everywhere, man. It's going to be all over South Auckland. Okay, so I figure I'll just get in a quick shot of the OTAHUHU Leopards. Here we go. So this is the club room right here with the OTAHUHU Leopards. Nope. Further down, buddy. Further down. There you go. Now rest in peace to a wonderful gentleman that I knew, the father of George Carmont, and his name was Paul Carmont. Old school player. He's an old De La Salle St. Joseph student. and we had his service down at the club rooms. My niece Avery, come on, she used to play for OTAHUHU. Now she's playing for the Warriors. Nice move, Aves. But anyways, this is the OTAHUHU club rooms. Wow. Primo, eh? A lot of history over here. Oh damn, I didn't even notice the stairwell. There's a stairwell coming from the top of the road down to the bottom, the very bottom of the field. Stairway to heaven, more like it. Damn. Great club rooms, right? It doesn't beat OTARA, but needless to say, it's a great. They had great players come out of OTAHUHU, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. OTAHUHU Rovers, the OTAHUHU Rugby Club, Sturgis Park. Wow, like I said, man. Well, everywhere in South Auckland, they're starting to build homes like these, bro, and apartments. They're gonna plant it all over South Auckland, man. It's gonna look like the Bronx. Damn. Look brand new now, but give it 20, 30 years. Woo! It's gonna be called the Hood. Actually, it is called the Hood. Parts of South Auckland they call the Hood. I'm not sure why. Why, man? Why? God damn it. But primo. OTAHUHU clubs room, eh? Club rooms. Okay, let's make my way further down to Sylvia Park. Okay. Now here's another iconic spot that some will remember. Now I went off one of the stories for the East Tamaki Tavern, the Flying Jug, and the one that was based in OTAHUHU, the Cross Pub or the South Pub. That was in OTAHUHU on Great South Road. Another infamous one that was back in the day was the Duke of Wellington. Now I'm going to put up an image on my right or left. You're going to see an old photo of what it looked like back then. And there was also, the Duke of Wellington was one of the hot spots in South Auckland. For the older cats later on, it was like Studio X and the rest of them in Papatoi, right? But Duke of Wellington was right at this very spot right here on Mount Wellington Highway. That's Kevin Maliamu, one of the All Blacks. That's his business, security. His rides, his black one and his two white ones. Former All Black, former OTAHUHU player. Dope player, might I add. Miliamu, security, dope. Anyways, back to the story. This section right here, this very building right here was where stood the Duke of Wellington. And I heard it went off back in this day, man. Rumours that Ice Cube was here back in the day, one of the early days when he rocked up. Someone said he got jumped in the Duke of Wellington. I don't know who made that rumour up. Probably all crap, but anyways. Duke of Wellington, one of the hot spots, man, in South Auckland. For any of the folks that came and drank at the Duke of Wellington back in the day, the alcoholics who used to come here and with their mates, drop a comment, man. I would love to hear your stories on the Duke of Wellington, right? Across the road is where the Harley Davidson store shop, which is pretty infamous if you're a bikie gang member. Oh shit, snap. But anyways, Duke of Wellington, man, was right here, man. Mount Wellington Highway, just up the road from the OTAHUHU Leopards. And the doctors, like I said, Dr. Williams, rest in peace, Dr. Williams, back in the day. So any folks that remember the Duke of Wellington or even went there, and you did your pub crawl from Duke of Wellington to the Flying Jug, to the Crossbar in OTAHUHU, any local pub, drop a comment, man. I'd love to hear you guys' stories. Who came here back in the day? The Duke of Wellington. Wow. Isn't that bringing down memory lane, right? Memory lane. Wowza. Yowza. That's right, man. That's right. Yo, Kevin, man, can I take one of your cars, please? Do a donut and then I'll bring it back. Anyways, Duke of Wellington folks, images up. Drop your stories, I would love to hear it. Any good times, whatever, if you guys had fights back then, drop it in the comments, man. Love to hear it. Yes, sir. That's right. Wow. Okay, here's one iconic spot that some of you folks remember from the day, if you remember, if you're that old. So this is probably the last one I'm going to do for Mount Wellington. The spot where I'm at right now is Sylvia Park. Now, if you guys can recall, back in the day, back in the early, well, my early days, or the early 80s, Sylvia Park used to be an army base. So where Sylvia Park sits was an army base back then. And I'll put up some images of, I think it was about 40, 50 plus buildings of this army base that was pretty much situated where Sylvia Park is sitting. So you can imagine this whole spot of Sylvia Park. Man, I remember there used to be those jeeps, and there was actually a tank. I remember seeing a tank one day as a kid driving past with my old man, and going past Halaby's, the old freezing works. If you guys can recall the freezing works back then, the freezing work factories. Mind you, this was before this motorway, this bridge. This is way before this bridge was being built, but I think in the early 80s, if I can recall, I can't remember when it was built, but I do remember when it was resurrected, when it came up. But this whole section right here was pretty much an army base back then. Like I said, I'll put up an image of what it looked like. Like folks, kids that came past this way, they do recall seeing all these army trucks, tanks and jeeps parked up, man. For the folks, the Gen Zs will remember. The kids later on, the millennials and whatnot, they'll be like, what? Really? An army base located over here? Yeah, buddy. There was an army base at Sylvia Park. The whole damn Sylvia Park was an army base, man. And it was pretty dope as a kid, man. Especially if you're into, if you guys had army figurines. Damn! I digged it, man. It was dope. Especially seeing the army trucks, right? So yeah, wow. Okay. Now you might be asking, why the hell is he under a bridge? Damn. Why not, man? Damn, why not? Okay. So any folks have any stories or reminisce on some historical facts on the army base at Sylvia Park back in the day? Drop a comment, man. I'm going to keep saying that because I want to hear you guys' stories, right? Yeah, buddy. This whole section, man. This whole section of Sylvia Park, from end to end, was a whole massive army base. Yeah, mate. Wow. Not sure where this IKEA is. Where the hell is this IKEA, man? I'll probably find it anyway. Well, I'm not here to shoot IKEA. I heard about it. They just opened up the very first IKEA here in New Zealand. Wow, what took so long, right? But anyway, I'm here about reminiscing about the good historical sites. And like I said, from one section to the other, this was the whole army base. Wow. I'm kind of glad I've got footage, images of it, just to give you guys a hearsay and what it actually was. I'm not making it up, folks. Bam. That's right. That's right. Way before this bridge, man. Heck yeah. So yo, I love to hear the stories, man. Anyone that worked there, I heard there was a lot of folks that worked there as a mechanic and whatnot. There might have been a drug kingpin. Oh, but you never know. But anyways, Soria Park X Army Base. Wow. Wow. That's right, guys. That's right. Drop the comments, man. I'd love to hear it. Okay, on to the next. On to the next. Okay, guys. Now I'm in the 275. And one of the old spots that I could recall from the day back in the 80s that some of you folks might reminisce and know of. Now, I'm in Mangere Town Centre. At the back of me is the Mangere Arts Theatre. And one of the spots that I could recall from the day is the OTAHUHU Beta Drive pub, which is pretty much located where Pack and Save is. So this spot right here, Pack and Save, Mangere Town Centre, there was the Beta Drive pub, and it was quite big, might I add. I remember it from the day, and I will put up an image of it. Like I say, on my left or right, you'll see an image of the Beta Drive pub back in the day. A lot of folks do recall going there back in the day when they used to come, especially when Mangere Town Centre first opened up. They do recall the Beta Drive OTAHUHU pub that was here, and that was located right here, man, where Pack and Save is. So where this Pack and Save shopping centre building is where the old pub used to be. Now we got the Cozy Club that's down there, but that wasn't there. It was pretty much the Beta Drive OTAHUHU pub, and a lot of folks do remember it from the day. So if you guys can remember that pub back then, I do recall going past it a couple of times, and yeah, I did have family members go there. But if there's any stories about that Beta Drive pub back in the day, please drop a comment. I'd love to hear you guys' stories about Mangere. I've done some previous vlogs on Mangere, 274 versus 275 day. Everyone knows 274 is the best, but 275 was also sicky too, right? Yes, sir. So any guys that are from the 275 and they can recall the Beta Drive pub at the back of me that used to be there, drop a comment, man. I'd love to hear it. What did you guys get up to back in those days? That's right, man. That's when those pubs and taverns were pumping, right? Back then, man. Oh, what a shot. What a shot. Oh, shit. Love it, love it. Anyways, Pack and Save, man. Damn. Yeah, buddy. 275. Oh, of course, everyone remembers the Mangere pools. You go there, and most of your clothes will go missing by the time you're done swimming, right? The hood rats, the hoodlums will take your clothes, and if they got enough, they'll probably take your undies too. Bam. Okay, I did shoot a few footage of the graffiti wall down there the last time I was here, and yeah, wow, OTAHUHU. Now the park that's across the road, it's awesome, man. City Council, local board for Mangere have done a brilliant job of the park across the road from Mangere Township. Probably one of the best parks right there for South Auckland, might I add. Better than Manukau. They even got exercise machines there like they do in Australia, you know what I mean? They started off, now it's coming over here. We haven't got any in OTARA, but damn, they should. 275, man. Wow. Like I said, man, drop those stories, man. Drop those stories of 275. If this was your hood, you guys have moved, any Mangereans, they have moved away from South Auckland and live in the States and Australia and the islands. Drop those comments, man. I'd love to hear it, man. What you guys got up to back in the day. And I remember Apia Way. Yo, who can't remember Apia Way, right? It's one of the nightclubs back in the day. Yes, named after Apia. Whew, one of the Samoan, it was a Samoan nightclub. but everyone went there. You go in, straight face, come out, black eye, missing teeth, because man, they had so many fights up in there, man. That's right, man. That was up your way. Good 100 meters, the building right in front of me. That's where all the pollies used to go back in the day. And if you wanted your teeth punched out, that's the place to go, man. Heck yeah, 275. Okay. And I will put up an image of the Mangere East theatre. It'll be on my right or left, you'll see it. I won't go there, but folks do remember that Mangere East also had their movie theatre. There's movie theatres everywhere, right before this Village 8 thing took over. But I will put up an image on my left or right, you'll see it, of the Mangere East, and once it's up, you guys will recall it, the Mangere East theatre back in the day. Wow. Okay, on to the next. All the folks that were from South Auckland who have left, drop those comments. I would love to hear stories of what you guys did back in the day, right? I do mostly vlogs on OTARA, but hey man, to get out and do other parts of South Auckland, that's where it's at, right? Seki, love it. Wow. On to the next. So here's another iconic spot for Mangere that I might have missed, and this one's still in the heart of Mangere Town Centre, and this is the very spot opposite from McDonald's. You gotta add the McDonald's in, right? So this beautiful Samoan Whale gets right in bang in the middle of Mascot Ave, Beta Drive. Back in its day, it was a car yard called South Auckland Motors. Now that was an iconic spot, especially for folks that lived in Mangere in the 80s and the 90s, and they also even had a same building, lookalike building that was in OTAHUHU, not far from the Working Man's Club. So there were basically two buildings. So there was one right here in Mangere, South Auckland Motors, and the other was in OTAHUHU. So if you lived in Mangere back in the day and have moved over to Australia and whatnot, you would record that iconic spot, right? They had the South Auckland Motors Ford. That's pretty iconic, especially for Mangere Town Centre. And the countdown for Mangere Town Centre, it's closed down, man. It's been around for decades, man. It's officially closed its doors, I think, a couple of weeks back, which is quite sad, eh? They lose their workers and whatnot. Yeah, buddy. Now, the folks from Mangere, comment if I'm wrong. Was the actual South Auckland Motors, was it where the Samoan Whale was? Or was it where the KFC was? I know it was definitely here. I know, I'm just trying to figure out which spot it was at. Well, it's either where the KFC is or where the Samoan Whale is, where they had the South Auckland Motors. And the park, it's Seki, man. They revamped the park across from McDonald's at Mangere, and it's way better. Not far from here, probably a good 200 meters down that way, is the Puka Puka Hall. One of the Cook Island groups, no, one of the islands of the Cook Islands, Puka Puka, their hall is in this area, just like the Manihiki one that's in OTARA. And there's the Atu one, which is also in Mangere also, so I figured I'll bring that one out, especially for all you Cook Islanders. But yeah, wow. So those are the iconic spots, man, for Mangere, OTAHUHU, OTARA, Rewa, and Sylvia Park. So like I said, comment, like, share. I'd love to hear your guys' stories on South Auckland, right? Especially from the day. Love it. Well, there you go, guys. Enjoy. I hope you guys enjoyed that video, and the next video vlog will be out pretty much sooner than you think. Okay, have a blessed day. See you guys again. Yeah, buddy.